And today's that day. Hello and welcome to Zeitgeist, the Gears of Revolution, the Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition campaign. I am your Dungeon Master, Redbeard. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody! Woohoo!
Yay.
Oh yeah, that's a thing.
I gotta go change or something. Forgot green.
You don't Yay, the inventor of Guinness was a class trader who sold out to the English.
Woohoo!
My camera isn't keyed.
Class trader.
None of our cameras are keys except for Redbeard's.
With me as always is James playing O'Ferry.
Yar! Hydrate or whatever.
Since you don't need it.
Sam's here playing Jack.
Master actor Sam Neill has announced that he has stage 3 cancer, so if you need me, I'll be in the mouth of sadness.
Aww.
I hate you for making that pun, but I also think Sam Neill might appreciate it.
Catherine's here playing me.
Hi, on a happier note, I have a sticker of the Mothman with a giant ass.
Dump truck dick.
I fucking love that sticker so much.
I'm trying to sneak behind the Denny's parking lot, but the sound of my butt cheeks clapping together.
He's wearing the SCP.
Carter's playing Koku.
So your fun fact for this week, and to my friend Leaf, if you're watching, sorry, I'm not using your fun fact this week because later
Why would you do that to Leaf?
Because later I found out that scientists successfully hybridized a dolphin with a cow.
That's just a manatee. And no one's impressed.
No, it gets worse, or perhaps better, depending on your perspective. Apparently, the reason why this is successful is that dolphin sperm are so powerful that they can punch through the cow egg's defenses and impregnate and fertilize the egg.
This doesn't help with dolphins being the happiest to rape animal.
You're thinking of ducks, but
that's true. Dolphins are still up there, though.
Very high. It also works with other mammals, aside from cows, but still dolphins, though.
I think I saw this episode of South Park.
Right?
I saw this episode of King of the Hill.
If your next question is, what does it look like? The answer is nobody knows, because the study was just to fertilize it. They did not incubate the zygote.
Incubate it. Fair.
Yeah. So they just proved that they could create a fertile zygote.
They just wanted to know if they could make an abomination in the eyes of God. They didn't want to actually do it. They just don't know if they could, for reasons.
I mean, do you want to know the actual reason? It's not that interesting.
Yeah,
they stopped and asked themselves if they should.
The actual reason was that it's part of trying a new technology for IVF to use to help save endangered species.
Oh, that's awesome.
Interesting.
Maybe they could just take the tails off of dolphin sperm.
But dolphins can impregnate other mammals is the headline. The headline / gift from reality to fanfic writers, I guess.
Oh, yeah. So it only works
As
one
if they
way,
cared
though.
about the science.
Yeah.
Aren't we doing something?
No,
I don't know.
No,
Game is about this now.
But basically, any sperm, theoretically, any mammal sperm that is powerful, that is a strong enough swimmer and hardy enough, can fertilize any mammalian egg, theoretically.
Philip's here playing Aloysia.
I miss morphological taxonomy.
Nobody misses morphological taxonomy, you liar.
It was so much easier.
It was easy until you looked at two animals at the same time.
No, that was what made it so easy. You just put like with like, and you're done. You
I don't have a
declare
coconut.
yourself done and
People
move
the chicken.
along.
And whales are fish.
Yeah, so easy.
What's
I have a big
What's
foot
this?
in it.
Oh, this is Sasquatch!
Yeah.
I forgot about that thing's existence.
I still got it. Oh my
Hey!
god. He's been sitting here for like 2 years now.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
fuck, the gorilla, yeah, shit.
you go.
Sasquatch.
Chris, what happened last time?
We went to an ice cave, and we definitely thought there were going to be more undead, and there weren't any.
No,
There's
we
maybe
found the
half
decapitated
of one or
skeleton
two.
in 2,000 gold.
5,000 gold.
Yeah,
Two-
we found
two
oh,
money
yeah,
credits.
you're
Two
right,
money.
you're right.
we found 1 point of morale is what we found.
We found a point of morale and a decapitated dragon skull.
Like basically, we brought that back and then
Uh,
immediately started handing it out to workers.
No, not even a decapitated dragon's. Well, I guess the dragon skull was on the
Yeah.
cart, but
Yeah, we
in
found
the
the
cave
skeleton.
was
Sorry,
just-
decapitated
a
dragon
lizard.
skeleton.
As we make our way to complete this railroad construction project
Yep.
and win an audience with Tinker Oddcog, so that we
Hopefully.
can find out something about this conspiracy.
Hopefully.
It's the long and short
And we
of it.
can leave this country
Why?
behind
great.
us and never look back.
I like
It's
it.
the best, though.
Things make sense down here.
They really do. It's a simpler place.
I enjoyed this place as a tourist, and would not want citizenship. I'll put it that way.
It's not that hard. All you gotta do is fight a bear.
I did that. Am I a citizen already?
No, now you're an adult.
Which is the first
Now
step.
you have to fight a bear as an adult.
Mm.
Naked.
Look, put Zarkava in
Naked.
charge of the
Oh,
country and
so
we'll talk.
difficult. Basically half naked already. It's
Oh,
not that
no, like
much different.
naked as in you don't get any tools.
I would
Basically
imagine.
make
Must
it
be
already.
reborn.
Yeah,
as a bear.
All right, so
Koku only wears a vest. I mean, I could take that off, I guess.
yeah, I don't know that really makes that much of a difference.
Yeah, it's
Forgot how a significant percentage of our party was Winnie the Pooh in it, or Donald Ducking it, depending on.
Donald
Ducking
Ducking
it.
it is my favorite personally.
Mhm.
I'm a
Um,
fan of Porky Pig in it.
Picking it.
Porky Pig.
Yeah.
Let's go.
But now we can. Well, I guess if we talk about Winnie the Pooh, then it has to be actually naked now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Anyway, so you've returned to the rail construction site, with a bit of dragon treasure in tow, and at least some information gained.
We got a bonus for the crew members. Yay!
What do you use the bonus on?
Morale.
5 reincarnations.
Oh yeah, we get
That
to
would be.
buy
I mean,
those-
I could bring morale back.
Yeah.
I mean, I was going to give it out as bonuses for hard work, but like,
That's a possibility.
I
That
mean,
was,
like,
that
if
was
the-
what I meant first.
I mean,
Uh,
the
the
options are
bonuses.
endless. You could just give it out as a cash bonus. You could get a pizza party. You could reincarnate some
No.
people into cows.
hold on. We're trying to make morale go up, not down.
Yeah.
Sure.
Carter,
No
I mean,
pizza
science
party.
has proven that pizza parties are the most effective way to raise
Look,
employee morale.
a salary increase is only a one-time thing. A pizza party is
Ugh.
for life.
Yeah. What's more important, the money you take home or the atmosphere of where you work?
Well, I don't take home any money, so I guess I don't know.
Which would Kai
You
rather
take
have,
home
money
if
or
you never
pizza?
leave your home,
Also
Carter.
saying that I have more than once made the I have many times in my life said, you know, the pay sucks, but I do really like working here.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
I've
true.
said that.
That's true. But a pizza party does not a good work environment make. It's
Yeah.
on its own.
Now an ice
So
cream
how many
party.
workers do we have?
That's true. That's
Ooh,
true.
they
Good
once
point.
did the
Excellent.
ice cream with like the what do you call it? The liquid nitrogen. They like pour
Ooh.
it into a thing and like instantly like freeze it.
Nice.
Oh, that's
All
cool.
my old
We
work.
didn't get anything like that, but one time at the food bank, they just had a ton of ice cream and like a bunch of toppings, and they were like, "Go ham," and we had fun.
Hey Philip, what did you ask? How many workers?
I asked
play?
how many workers we have. that aren't robots.
It's about 200.
And only
Okay.
4 of them died. Right? Or was that a representation of 4 out of, 4% of them? I don't know how many were on the map. I can't count.
I probably managed to fit about,
Like 30 or 40.
I think it was around 50 onto the map. Realistically, it probably would be maybe a few more than what we actually saw, but
So probably like
Don't
8
worry
died
about
instead
it,
of 4.
is what I'm hearing.
yeah.
Well, it matters for the sake of me considering reincarnation, not with this money, just in general. Also, I don't turn people to cows. Like, they're very likely to be some denizen of bear, honestly.
What about a dolphin cow hybrid?
No. So is there anything
Let me check the
we need to
table.
do, Chris?
No.
Or should we start playing the train game?
I'm going to make my own table.
Oh,
We already made a new table.
I'm going to make a new version of it and give it to Chris behind your back and get him to use it.
wow, this says nothing but dolphin hybrid on it.
But it's various dolphin hybrids. It's like dolphin elf hybrid.
Fine.
So you're just
Well,
going to take the
Then
table
I'm
and
slipping
put
Chris the
dolphin
crit
hyphen?
damage table.
Dolphin badger is probably the best thing on there,
Badger Conda.
except for the dolpharine.
Carter, how much farther does our train go?
On this day, we finish the bridge.
Okay.
Is what happens on this day.
Woohoo.
And so then tomorrow we get to the goal.
Okay. I think my last question is I forget how it mechanically it worked out from Jack's benefit gala. Or do we already have that in the bank, or does that go
I think we
up,
already
or how
counted.
is
Oh,
it?
we've already spent that.
That was
Okay, I wasn't sure if it was like a constant influx or what I forgot what came of it. And
We got 10.
It was a
just did it as a
huge, it was a
windfall.
huge influx of money.
it was just a huge
that we've been spending
immediate
over the last
windfall.
few days.
Okay.
But it is now gone. we
Okay.
spent
No,
it
that's
all
fair. I was just
on,
curious.
about half on morale, half on extra materials.
Okay.
Hey, everybody, you have 2 good berries. Because I'm assuming it's a new day, right? we
I
just
think that's
talked
a-
about-
Double
Progress.
checking my spell slots. Yeah, and there were 2 very large towers for the night. Actually, no, 3 because Nina wants their own.
Think you can just buy my affection back?
No, but last time I made 2 towers, you complained about and demanded one for yourself. My character is assuming that that's a constant.
See, last time I did 2 towers, everyone complained that it was mostly walking.
Ba-da-bum, ba-da-bum.
Anyway.
Last time I did 2 towers, I paid Liv Tyler a lot of money for nothing.
Okay, so yeah, you guys finish the bridge and just taking a long rest for the night.
Yes.
Yep.
I think so. I sent my reports already. Yeah.
I mean,
May I have one?
Ooh, it's Friday the 13th.
we are expecting that we are, like, Coco has informed us that we are probably close to finishing this off, right?
At the very least, reaching the midpoint goal.
Right.
Yeah,
2
we're-
more days?
We're
No, sorry,
reaching
has-
the
Oh, sorry.
we're reaching the midpoint goal tomorrow, but we've still got a ways to go on the train unless we meet Griento, basically.
Right. So since tomorrow we meet the goal that the Bruces put forth, which is the most important part. What are we going to talk to Oddcog about?
I believe we were going to ask him about his involvement in the obscurati.
Oh.
And he also had something to do with, like, the... Oh my god, James, come on.
I assume we're having this conversation in private, right? The four of us.
Yeah.
I'll cross out obscurati.
We also need.
You know that. But
We
your
also need to
character
speak with him about Born.
Right. That's what I was. That's what James was trying to remember, and was stupid. And also Linus and the other two.
Yes.
So
Linus.
I guess they're
Hunting.
a little less important because they're more like you than giant, towering, ocean-filling robot that is currently in the Fade.
We need to handle Born for the sake of our relationship with the Fey Court.
Right.
So slightly more pressing. But you're correct. All of them are important.
What are their names? I remembered Linus.
Hunting was one of them.
Yeah,
I don't remember the other one.
like Dale or something, right? I don't know if we have handouts for them, unfortunately. Oh well.
Was Linus the big one?
Linus. No, I don't think so.
So the other one was the big one, because Hunting wasn't the big one.
Yeah,
I remember Hunting was one of the normal-sized ones.
Linus is the one that is learning to be a druid.
Right, okay, yeah, then the other one is the big one. So it's the big one we don't remember the name of.
He was really quiet and didn't talk a lot.
I remember his name being very normal-sounding. I remember that
Mhm.
being funny to me.
Colin.
Colin! That was
Colin's
it.
the big one. It literally says in the thing here, Colin, parentheses, the big one.
That's pretty good.
That's his
But-
wrestling name.
You did find out a good bit about them from Grappa at the time.
Mhm. And I mean, I've also learned about them from interacting with them as well.
Yeah.
James doesn't remember much, but
We also need to ask him about the machines in his factories coming alive and killing people.
Saw minor details.
And I guess just in general, what they were doing in the Bleak Gate.
yeah,
What was their main goal? I mean, it's probably a safe assumption that Born was part of their goal, but why were they making him in the first place?
I mean, I believe it was probably as a weapon, but yeah.
There's got to be more to it. If you're making a weapon, you don't make it think, right?
Might have been necessary for the process.
It certainly is for soldiers. Either way, Ilferi is right. It seems likely that they were attempting to incite an incident rather than simply cause destruction. And so, knowing the incident they were trying to cause in more detail could help us prevent the next one.
Do you have the handout for the handout we got at the beginning of this scenario or this chapter that talked about Oddcog in the first place?
There was a news article.
Oh, I found it. 6 news summer 1 AOV Bruce bringing bad news to bear.
Yeah.
Okay, I found it.
Where are you looking?
It's the top of the news tab under journal.
News tabs. Got it. Okay. I was looking under handouts.
Yeah, I was too at first. I looked through everything except for news. Yeah, me having to lean in to read this is not very helpful for me staying in frame. So let's just zoom in instead. Yeah, I mean, I understand that that you want to get to the bonus, but I do think that we might be speaking to the Bruce before that happens. Not to say that we're going to abandon this if this is what you want to keep doing, but he might ask us to talk as soon as we meet the goal. So I figure we should bring it. Figured it's a good point. Bring it up with you guys. Make sure that we're ready because honestly, I have no clue. What to ask Oddcog. What he works on is something that honestly, other than the fact that it's like national security, I'm not that interested in. So I don't know what to ask. But it seems like you guys do.
I believe we're as prepared as we're going to be.
Yeah.
It would have been helpful to have Theodore here.
Can someone send a message to him?
I can try.
And he has one of the feathers, but it would take a long. It would take, at the soonest, probably over a week to reach him.
I meant like the spell. Or no, not message. Sorry, sending.
Yeah.
Does any of us actually know sending?
If I did it,
I thought I did.
Maybe, I don't know.
You're able to use the scrolls, but you don't know it yet. I don't know if you've described it into your book or not.
I mean, I never said I explicitly did. So, yeah.
It
You
costs
have to
money
use
and time
one
to do.
up, and, yeah.
But you have scrolls of sending, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Probably keep one to scribe at some point.
I mean, when have I ever done a good idea?
I mean, you took shield, and that seems to have been a pretty dang good idea.
True. I'm not good at playing a wizard, but I am good at jury-rigging a wizard.
I would say you're doing a pretty effective job so far playing this wizard.
Do we want me to try to send to Zeodor?
I mean, if you think that we can get some good advice from him on what to do, he's still one of us, so we might as well, if he responds.
Potentially.
But there's only so much you can get with 25 words?
Yeah.
Let me see how many I have left. I have 4 left.
Maybe we should have restocked on them when you went back to
Yeah.
Resur. How many teleport scrolls do we have left? That's actually very important too.
2?
I don't have those written down.
Y'all have used at least one in my presence.
We were given, I think, 10 at the beginning, right?
10? Wow.
I
I
think.
thought y'all had 3.
I have Koku has 1 left. We split them up evenly. I don't know how many
You were
Jack
given
has.
8 teleport and 30 sending initially.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
so Koku's used 3. That sounds right. I don't know. I don't remember how many Jack has used. I think maybe 2.
Jack and I teleported to Citadel Caballo, and then we teleported back.
And then I
And
went
then he
Flint,
teleported to Resur.
back.
But
So
you
he's
were
out.
able to come back through a
I thought
circle,
you
right?
used the.
Oh yeah, you used
yeah,
just
I thought you used the circles
Oh.
for some of
Yeah.
that.
so
Yeah.
the scrolls weren't used to get to Resur or back.
So Jack has 2 and I have 1.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay. Sounds about right to me too.
Just good to keep a track of.
Maybe I meant to write 40 scrolls of sending.
We definitely started with 30 scrolls of sending.
Oh, or with 30. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how many you've used, but you're the only one who can use them.
Yeah.
We've used
So
a
you
lot of
have
them.
all of
Yeah.
Like,
you-
having 3 makes
Maybe
sense.
4 is correct. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I mean, that's all I had. I just wanted to make sure we were ready for what's coming. Because it oddly feels like a very long time since we started this.
I too feel like we've been in Bear for a extended period of time.
Xanathars.
I guess I'll ask the stars. What should I expect when we finish the challenge tomorrow? Or actually, let me different one. What should I expect that will stop us from finishing this challenge tomorrow? Or stop us from the train being completed tomorrow?
Okay.
Sorry for using my class feature more often lately.
Um. What should you expect would prevent you from completing the challenge?
Yeah, like, you know, if I should expect like an ambush to happen, or like someone blows up our train, or, you know, am I expecting sabotage, or am I expecting like natural disasters or natural sabotage?
Uh-huh. Your dream, you just see, like, from the point of view of like a train going down a straight track.
I would have preferred a boat metaphor, but okay.
You've been around
See a
trains a lot lately.
steamboat.
Well, I was just thinking, you know, smooth sailing.
the train tracks are on top of water. Is that
You know, fine.
I love Spirited Away.
Uh,
I rewatched
cool.
that movie.
I mean,
recently. It's so good.
no news is good news as far as I'm concerned from that vision. So, I wake in the morning and I tell everyone, I think we're going to be okay. I don't see anything stopping us from hitting our goal today. At least the
Suddenly-
stars don't.
Suddenly, a large fiery ball appears in the sky.
That's called the
Sephiroth.
sun.
Oh, okay. Okay, we're good then.
Damn it, Apollo.
It's okay. I have water sphere.
No one likes Apollo.
I'll just put it in a ball of water.
I put the sun in a ball of water. Oh God, why is it bigger now?
That's not how the sun works. The sun is a big ball of fire. Everyone knows that.
It's a massive incandescent gas, gigantic nuclear furnace. Hydrogen is built into helium at a temperature of millions of degrees.
So what
It's
happens today?
You build train tracks, I assume.
Choo choo.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Sorry, I don't think y'all can hear that.
no.
Just from the other side of the room, Kai went, choo choo. Good job, buddy.
Good job, Kai. Nothing bad can happen now. It would disappoint Kai. We need to make the choo-choo.
That's not actually true. The spell does say if I or one of us does something extremely drastic outside of the scope of what we were thinking about when I asked the question,
I stab
anything can
Aloysia.
happen. I blow
For
up
how
his
much?
friend.
And then I light her on fire. That's got to be the only way to kill her.
For how much? Wait.
She's not very good at stabbing, though.
So,
Oh, I'm terrible at stabbing.
Yeah.
No, I'm real bad at stabbing.
So by the end of the day, are we at 146?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, there aren't any complications. And aside from like there's like a surveyor's poll.
Actually, Chris, I have something.
Okay.
I would like to cast Legend Lore,
Okay.
naming Tinker Oddcog. Or I guess, yeah, if we have his, yeah, especially with this news article as part of context.
Do this again.
Yeah, because presumably you have also had, because it was from a barren paper, right?
Yep.
No, it was a Resturi paper that our article came from.
Oh, okay. But there was information about him was floating around in Bear, so and we got it from a newspaper worker we got more information from a newspaper worker in Bear.
Yeah, the newspaper we got was from someone who had an informant that lived in Bear.
Right. I need to take 5d10 damage.
So presumably there were stories about him in the Baron newspapers as well. So theoretically, Aloysia, I did it now. I did it now too. Aloysia would have had access to it, so that makes sense to me.
And I'm also just like very aware of the challenge too. So, and
would Legend Lore work on this though?
I don't know.
Why not?
It's been a while since I've looked up Legend Lore.
He's not a legendary name.
I mean, that I guess we'll find out. He built a pretty impressive thing, and there's a lot of stuff happening, events happening around him.
So yeah, I'm trying to think of what you could like. At best, there might be urban legends about him, but he's not legendary importance as the spell specifies. You do get information that was in the article that there are rumors that he has some ability to move machines in some way or talk to them or something. He's often seen kind of mumbling, talking to himself, as people say. He's often seen like holding or sometimes talking to like a what appears to be like a mechanical ball of metal of some sort that has like gears on it and stuff. There are rumors of his involvement with the disaster that occurred in Reser last spring, although his involvement is vague. But the connection of him being involved with machines, and a big machine breaking out in the middle of the city is, you know, a pretty obvious connection there.
Okay.
Some just think that he's bad luck, that disasters seem to follow him around wherever he goes. And then, of course, stories leading up to him being under the protection of the Bruce. You were not in any division that was in charge of his protection, so you don't know a lot of the details of what was going on there.
Okay.
And even with the spell, it's not widely circulated knowledge enough for that to come up. But I imagine that your like flashes of knowledge come like kind of in the form of like spinning newspaper style.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Like that very like 1940s radio spinning newspaper montage of articles flashing through. So basically,
fleeing the scene after the
I was imagining
from the mountain
exactly
in the center
that.
of Risa.
So we finished the railroad today, and
so like I was saying, there's like a surveyor's pole that marks the midpoint of the construction, and
we passed that today.
Oh, you got a mile past it?
We finished mile 146.
Okay, so yeah.
So I guess I had been thinking of the goal being in the middle of mile 146, but if it's at the end of mile 146, then we got to it today.
Sure.
Is there any part of the other railroad crew in sight? Because theoretically, we're supposed to meet them at that point.
Well, we're supposed to meet them wherever we meet them. It was the first to get there is what mattered. As far as we were
It's a pretty clear day today, but you do not see any sign of the other crew on the horizon.
Because I think this would be a really dumb, simple, and also silly plot. Chris, can I investigate this marker to make sure it's the real one?
Sure.
Like they can just move it.
That is wise.
Yeah.
Turns out we were supposed to do that 8 days ago. We are way off track.
Off track.
I'm sorry, Chris, did you ask for a roll?
Oh yeah, you can give me investigate.
Okay. Nope.
Looks pretty good.
Looks good to me, boss. Yeah.
We should be about 8 miles from the gap from this bridge that's at mile 155 that Griento is supposed to build. Can we see to that gap?
No.
Okay.
I
I wasn't sure. We would only be able to see there if the terrain was pretty flat and clear, so I'm not surprised.
Okay.
I would say at best you can probably see 2 miles.
Okay.
Should I like go make sure that fucking A, what is wrong with me today? I can't remember
Griento shouldn't
anybody's names.
Griento shouldn't be too far away.
Should I go check to see if that bitch's henchmen are still? Thank you. You know what? I'm sticking with that bitches for now. But yes, Liagier. Make sure her henchmen are like there
Everyone's
and
gonna
not.
have a nickname for her by the end of this.
Knowing
about
where
to
they
blow
are,
us up.
yeah, knowing where they are would be helpful. Yes, that's a good idea.
All right, well, I can just go. They couldn't be that far away.
They shouldn't be too far away, no. I imagine that they've likely at least reached the bridge, which should be about 8 miles east.
I can get there and back today. No
Should
reason
I
to.
inform the general and vizier that your team has completed its task?
Yes.
Yeah, I actually expected someone to be here, waiting. I don't know why, but just kind of felt like a thing the Bruce would do.
We crossed that last inch. Confetti cannon!
Yeah.
You did it!
Right. I'll go check on Brianto and that whole situation. I'll be back later. Send me a message if you need me. I have the stuff. I have the stone. And then I'll turn into an owl and I'll fly that way.
Okay.
Mostly, I'm checking to make sure how bad I sabotage them.
Yep.
Okay. Sounds good.
Which, that was at the bridge gap. So
Yeah, and they had at that point they had actually passed the bridge.
Is there
oh,
any
they
other
had passed
detail-
the bridge at that point?
That bridge was fully built when I collapsed it.
Oh, did you collapse this one or did you collapse the earlier one?
Oh, it
Now
might
I
have been the
remember.
earlier one.
Oh, okay.
I collapsed a bridge. I don't remember which one.
So other
That's
than
right. That's right. You collapsed a bridge they had already passed. This is the bridge that's like they have a bridge that's like right next to the goal.
Gotcha.
Like right over here.
So other than
I was-
declaring the center point reached and Liza's team nowhere in sight, are there any other details or words of affirmation you would wish to pass on to the general or vizier?
Nothing I could think of.
No?
Okay.
I was not in contact with either of them. would
I
be
guess
my
I could
place to
answer
say.
that before I leave, since you're like actively asking. I mean, we should inform them of the dead, I guess, like of the attacks
They've
that
already
have
been
happened.
informed.
Okay, well then, no, just let them know that we're awesome. Bye. And this time I'm turning into an owl, but it's very like ill fairy owl, like identifiable
An
as
owl
a-
fairy, if you will.
Yes, we have owl fairy, gorilla fairy, and
Very fairy.
well, no, I don't really do that anymore.
I prefer
Horse
Elrilla.
fairy?
Ilrilla,
Yeah.
I like that one too.
Ooh, Ilrilla sounds good.
The real
I
is a
would
good
listen to
rap name.
Ilrillo.
Catherine,
Ilrilla
is
definitely.
nowhere one word or two words?
Is what?
It depends on how you're using it.
Ilrilla
One
is
word.
definitely a rapper and also a pro wrestler.
Yeah.
Ilrilla.
I gotta look at all my druid form or the druid forms that I use most often. Give them fun names.
Also, you said owl fairy, and I got the image of a pixie with giant dish eyes, and it was mildly horrifying.
You're welcome, I guess. But yeah, this one is very clearly identifiable as a druid that is in wild shape, that is probably someone that has feathers, and it's brightly colored. And very distinctly not the owl that they saw sabotage there.
Cool. Well, after maybe a little over an hour flying, you see first signs of smoke on the horizon. And then as you get a little bit closer, you start to see details of the rail camp ahead.
I've met Griento, but I wasn't part of the whole like rescuing thing.
Yeah, but
Actually,
you were on the train with him for a few days, though.
yes, as Parrot Pete
Mhm.
and not Il Fairy.
Yes.
So he doesn't know who I am at all. So that'll be interesting. But I'm gonna just
I mean, I think
I'm going
you
up to
guys
the camp.
told him what you were at some point, didn't you?
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
of
we
us?
did after we. Were you there when we did the exchange? Because that's when we.
I didn't.
Told
I
him.
wasn't there. I was doing recon.
But he
So I think
he knew
the
that
fairy
you were
might know.
with them.
Yeah.
That's true. He knew that you were in the same car as us, so he probably figured it out.
Yeah.
He seems like a smart cookie.
Yeah. So I'm gonna fly up into the camp. First things first. I just need to make sure that Laya's lackeys are there.
Okay, so you're flying right in.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like things are wrapping up for the day. They are packing up the extra tools or materials into the train. Griento is right there at the front, directing people. And doing seems to be a good job at being present for his workers.
Yeah, I'll just approach him. There's no harm in that. Where is he? Like on the? Am I in front of or behind the bridge?
You do see a bridge on the when you're at the camp, you would be seeing the bridge on the horizon.
So they've built the bridge already.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So they're like here-ish.
Yeah, here to here, something like that.
Somewhere in there, yeah. Okay.
Griento, right?
Ah, Parrot Pete. Or I guess they told me El Fairy.
Yes. I'm surprised Parrot Pete was the first thing that came to mind. My heathers are totally different color.
Never
And
I thought you changed back.
No, I did. My
Oh.
He
Oh,
had
you were wearing a
changed
I
disguise.
dyed
color.
my
Yeah.
I dyed my feathers.
That's
as
right.
Parrot
I
Pete.
forgot you were wearing a disguise.
Yeah.
But probably still not that hard to put things together.
Griento's very observant.
Yeah,
He has a distinctive beak
probably
shape.
not, but
Well, he knows that the others were working on the rail, and
Yeah.
he knows
Yeah.
that you were with them. Like, it's not.
Because
Too
Mina
bad.
totally went to him and said, "We will not sabotage you."
Yep.
we didn't. I did. How is everything going? I was checking in. Honestly, we fought a whole bunch of undead like a day ago.
Yeah, that's great. Why don't we? We can talk just over here, good old friend.
Oh no.
Absolutely. No, I get what's
And
going on.
he kind of like.
I mean, like, really quick. Well, one, does that like pique my passive insight?
Oh yeah, he doesn't want to talk in front of people.
In front, yeah, that's what I thought.
And if you look around you, you see Merton and Riss? What is his name? Rush. Merton and Rush, like over by some of the campfires.
Okay, cool. That's the main reason I came here, but I would like to talk to him at the very least. Oh, yes, absolutely. Let's go to your tent. I brought some drinks from home. Be nice to share it with you.
He nods and leads you. He kind of like looks over at Merton and Rush and kind of like waves you along quickly while their backs are turned.
Yeah, if we're going to like his tent or something, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Once we get in the tent, let's like get further away, and I'll cast Pass Without Trace on us.
He nods, and you guys slip out the back of the tent.
We'll leave like a candlelight on or something. It's not
Yeah.
dark, is it?
It's getting dark, but
Okay.
it's also summer, so
Yeah, I'll leave. I'm getting better at this subterfuge thing, so we're gonna leave a candle on, and I need to leave something that looks like people that are actually in the tent, so shadows are cast properly.
Home Alone.
Yeah.
Shape
Cardboard standees on a train.
How good is your make plant? Can you make a topiary?
That's actually where I was going. I was thinking about doing plant growth to kind of shape some just like people, not a topiary, just people-shaped cactus or something. Like cacti are approximately the size of people, maybe a little bit bigger. I could probably do something with that. As long as no one enters the tent, it shouldn't be too obvious.
I like the sound of it.
Okay. So I'll do that. In fact, I'll give you a nature maybe or something to like make sure I do it right.
Yeah, how good of a
There are two people in there, and by the looks of it, they're really surprised about something.
Yeah, I'll give you a nature. I'll even I can't do Cosmic Oak. I'll give myself the fucking Sky Seer's Blessing. So this first one. Roll.
We'll say he has like a.
I don't like it, so I'm gonna roll it again.
We'll say he has like a little bonsai, like, or what do you call it? A succulent, like in a pot.
Yeah. So the succulent gets really big.
Yeah.
Gets turned into a saguaro.
I know what that means.
When you think of Old West cactus, that's the cactus you're thinking of.
Oh.
So I'll like make his really large, and then I'll put like a jacket or something on the back of another chair for another silhouette.
Mm-hmm.
And then we will sneak out.
Sounds good. You want to give me stealth?
Sure. With a plus 10.
Well, good thing you had the plus 10.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you don't think anyone saw you?
Well, if they did, what are they gonna do? I'll fucking kill them. Well, that's against the rules.
It's good to see some friendly faces. I talked with Mina a few days ago, and I understand your predicament.
Yeah, it's very frustrating. I'm glad to see that her men haven't roughed you up at all, trying to push you harder than you should. Or have they?
It's
actually,
been
can I tell if he's been like bruised or anything?
It's been a delicate balance. They haven't been what's the word? Malicious, exactly. But at least not towards me or my men. They do try to drive us harder than I've been trying to hold back as much as I can while still getting work done for my family. They're really pushing us to get towards that bonus mile. At this point, I might have to let them have it.
Just the bonus mile? Are they not concerned about the goal itself?
Well, the goal is prestige, but the bonus money would help my family a lot.
Oh, your family's pushing you towards the bonus. Or are they pushing you towards the bonus?
Well, they're, of course, pushing us towards the goal, but if their informants are right, that might be a foregone conclusion.
I believe it is. If I am correct, which I believe I am, we just hit the goal.
Then their informants are well informed.
That's actually good to know because I wasn't aware of anyone that would be informing them within our camp. So we have a spy of some sort. Great.
Or at the very least, scouts.
Yeah.
It's
Have
not
you been
that far of a
attacked by
distance
like
from here.
undead or anything?
Undead? Out here? I guess I
Yes.
heard about some superstitious folk talking about some sort of icy curse, but
More than just superstition. We were attacked by freezing undead. They had a big dragon skull and it shot ice at us and killed several of our workers. We were able to fend them off, but
wow, I never believed those rumors would be true.
I have a suspicion that if you haven't been attacked by anything like that and we were, that Laya is behind it in some way.
Well, those two lackeys of her do sneak off rather suspiciously every other day or so.
If it wasn't against the rules for us to assault them, I'd take care of them for you. But since it is, we'll have to wait till this competition's over, and then I'll deal with them for you.
Well, at the very least, my family loves them because they came with fat coin purses at the start of this, but unfortunately, with the way they've been pressing my men, it's been harder to keep spirits up. And we recently had a huge slowdown at the bridge back there. There were some locals that were not too happy to have us building through their territory.
What happened?
There were some blizzard folk that claimed that this was their turf and were demanding bribes. We had to pay off, which ended up sucking off a lot of the extra money that we'd had, and even then they were still hanging around and harassing men. It was just... I'm glad to have that behind us. I'm worried about what they do in the long run with this bridge, but I suppose that's up to the Bruce to enforce.
This is, I don't know the business dealings part, but what would happen if you and Liz met at the bonus at the exact same time and were to, like, lay the last spikes down together?
Well, it'd be very altruistic of us, I suppose, but at the very least, we could probably have a gentleman's agreement to split the bonus.
I mean, I might be able to convince them to wait to lay the last spike until you're able to lay your last spike. It's worth a shot. I mean, I don't want to harm your family. We've already met our goal. He needs the money, but, like, it's not that you don't need the money either.
Unfortunately, if it were me alone, I would be 100% on board, but I know for certain my family would see such an agreement as weakness.
That just makes me want to beat up your family, too. God, so uncompromising.
Well, I'll be happy to have this job done. After this, I might have a bit of a break, and then we're going to be working on the Cavallo rail, which should be at least not a direct competition.
I hope not. Also, it's like half built, isn't it? Actually,
There's
Ren,
some work done it already.
You're talking about Ciabrisha to Cavallo, right?
Indeed.
Yeah, it's like half done, but I mean, there's dinosaurs in there for crying out loud. That's gonna be a dangerous one. Better be paying you well.
Yeah, the Bruce has some of his handlers in that area to help.
Well, I'm glad that you're. I mean, it's unfortunate you're being pushed. I'm glad that you're okay. Mina and the others wish you well as well. I'm the fastest one to get here, and it's a little more discreet if I go alone. But if you need anything, do you have a way to contact us? Like, if imminent harm is coming your way, do you have a way to get in contact with us?
I could maybe get one of the mages to send a message, but it wouldn't exactly be discreet.
Shit, do I have my feather still? I think I was the one that gave mine away.
If worse comes to worse, I should be able to get away, and if I understand things right, you're only a few miles away.
Yes, that is the case. Let's see. What do I have where you could at least alert us? 'Cause we can get to you quickly. Inventory. I have rope. I have sling bullets. I have torch.
Here, have some rope. What do I do with it? I don't know.
I hope this helps.
It's magic rope. It repairs itself.
You coil it up, and then you can use it to escape dungeons.
I don't have anything. Do you have a flare?
What?
I don't know. I've seen some people with those gun things that like shoot big sparks in the sky.
Oh, like a firework.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
No, we don't have any of that. So we used up the last of our explosives on the last mountain.
I was hoping you were about to say the last pizza party.
I was hoping you were going to say he has a gun that shoots skyrite.
That's
Why would I need fireworks when I have this, the greatest of weapons?
Do you happen to have any druids on hand that know how to write in the clouds? I hate that spell, but in this circumstance, maybe it would be helpful, not discreet, but we'd know.
Well, again, I could maybe get some help from our construction mages, but at this point, I'm not sure how much I trust them.
I can come by and check on you daily if you would like. Now that we're close enough, I can make this trip back and forth.
I'm not too worried about my safety or the safety of my men at this point. Honestly, with your group already reaching the goal, there's been talk of some of the Laya's men might just pack up and leave, since there's not much reason for them to hang around. And then we can finish in leisure at our own pace.
I'm gonna still talk to Liz about that compromise. Your family may think it weakness, but money's money. You will be able to make that decision at your own leisure, I think. We'll get close enough, you two can talk, and if it's not going to work out, we lay the last spike because we're there first. Or you lay the last spike because you're there first. We'll leave it as an open opportunity. I'll leave it at that.
It can't hurt to discuss the possibility with certain lists.
Right. I think we could both agree if there is no agreement, whoever was there first gets to lay the last spike regardless.
He is a shrewd businessman, but he is reasonable, and I don't expect any antagonistic tendencies from him.
Yeah, I don't think so either. We should probably head back so they don't get suspicious. Plants, as it turns out, don't move a lot. They cast shadows great, but someone looks long enough, they'll notice. something's off.
He nods. Good plan.
So we'll head back. I'll use plant growth to reverse it, I guess. I don't think plant growth can do that. I think we just trim it. We trim his succulent back to succulent size. In fact, we just have a bunch of succulents because you can just replant pieces of them.
Hucking chunks of cactus out the back of his head.
Pay no attention.
Oh, I could make you. So, I have this assistant back at home. He's also like kind of my child. It's complicated. Anyways, I can make the succulent into one for you.
Druids are
it's
weird.
Large enough. That
Fucking
druids are weird.
Man.
I could. This is large enough that it could actually serve as like an assistant if you needed it.
I don't.
Just while I'm thinking about it.
I don't need another. I've already got 2 kids. In fact, I believe the boy might be old enough soon to help me on this next job. At least I'm hoping so. Be a good opportunity.
Also, I can't turn kids back into plants. I'm sorry, that's just not my wheelhouse.
I had to go for a second.
Right.
I missed something.
Nah, you're good.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'll maybe see you at the bonus point. If not, good luck, and we will take some time to have everyone see you soon.
He nods.
And then I will walk out of the tent. I mean, we did actually have a joke, so I just kind of keep laughing at that, and then turn into an owl and fly away.
Okay.
Oh, before I leave, I make sure the 2 people are still there.
And I mean, if you need a joke, you could just look at Merton and his weaponless ass.
Merton does have a new staff, by the way. You notice.
You should break it.
Or steal it.
Or steal it and then break it.
This one's got 3 prongs.
Does it look like the same kind of weapon he used to have?
Yeah.
Falling back on your old tricks there, Merton.
Deep pockets.
It didn't help you last time, and it's not going to help you next time.
I know Laya can just replace them. I just want to keep breaking his stuff to annoy him because clearly he likes it.
Yeah.
I'd say we're the bullies, but they're trying to destroy the world, so I don't think it counts.
You don't know that.
We do, though. They might not know that, actually, but we definitely know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I taunt Merton, and then I leave.
All right.
I don't care if he knows I was there. It's just important that they don't hear what we were talking about.
Okay.
We already won.
Yeah, we did. It takes me a couple hours. I get back.
Okay.
It's
Aloysia, did you have your message?
I did, but I want to double check something because I think I didn't know about this aspect of the challenge. There's this bonus mile. Is that something that the constables are responsible for?
Not as far as the challenge goes, no. The reason why we care about it is that Koku made a promise to certain lists to help him hit it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And certain owes me $2,200, so...
Okay. Okay, the reason I ask is like, I was going to basically at the end of my sending say, where should they go next? But if y'all aren't planning on leaving, then I don't need to ask that.
At the very least, it's clear that Koku isn't planning on leaving.
Yeah.
Certainly, if you asked her, she would tell you that she's planning to fulfill her promise to certain unless urgently called away. I don't know what the others would say, or if you would ask them.
I mean, yeah, I probably would ask Mina and Jack of, do you need to know where to go next?
What's left? Was this the last of the things for our frickin' contest?
Yes.
Mhm.
Then,
The others were just getting the favor of the 3 people.
yeah.
Yep.
I guess we have to go talk to the Bruce at some point.
That would be my thought.
So, should I tell them that of your swift departure towards the summer court?
You're not coming.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
I would recommend it.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm not going. Fuck you.
Well, okay then.
That was not Mina. That was Catherine. She's had a long week. don't fucking tell me what to do.
Yeah, if you could send word, we'd appreciate it.
Catherine's over here going full Smeagol.
It's weird eating jelly beans with a cigarette in your mouth.
That sounds absolutely disgusting.
He's not smoking the cigarette. He's just holding it.
I know, but it still sounds gross.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Paper flavored jelly beans. At, like, best.
Anyway, so is Ilferi back?
Yeah,
Want
am
to
I
have this
back?
Conversation.
Well, I thought that this message was being sent out. While
This message was being sent while Elfari was doing his travels in Dun.
Then yes,
Because that's when I
Yak
was
and
told.
Mina. Yes, we should head back.
Okay. So the sending, I'm going to be sending in, probably in conjunction with each other, unless I get an answer that would change it. I'll be starting with my direct superior, General Vigilante, saying, the constables have reached the center point. Liza's team is nowhere in sight.
Liza.
I thought y'all said it was Liza earlier.
No, we've said it's Laya the whole time.
That's what Mina decided to
I'm
start.
calling her Lisa. So
All right, so we got Liza, Lisa, that bitch.
I'm not. That uses too many words.
Koku hasn't come
Okay.
up with a nickname for her yet, but I'm sure she will.
The constables have reached the center point. Lia's team is nowhere in sight. The constables look forward to seeing the court.
Good to know Eloisia's a liar.
I was about to say, apparently you can just say whatever you want in these reports.
You're welcome.
The response comes. The what are they called?
Yeah, so this is the reply from Vigilante saying,
Yeah. I will inform those interested expect VIPs for joining ceremony within days. Your duties are I expect your duties will keep you. Will constables be returning sooner?
finish writing down that.
I didn't actually count, but I.
You were good.
It was close.
Sorry, I'm writing that down like in a notebook, like in character.
Sure.
The general says there will be a joining ceremony and to expect very important persons at the court. They inquired on how soon to expect your arrival.
What's a joining ceremony?
Sounds kinky.
And did they say when the ceremony will be?
They were not specific days, so I expect less than a week. If I would guess 3 or 4, potentially longer depending on who is traveling from where. But the summer court is usually well prepared to host large events at a moment's notice.
Did you answer what it was?
I mean, I fill up. I'm not sure about what the phrase joining ceremony means.
Okay.
You probably might have heard about it during some of the planning meetings before you left.
Yeah.
But just there's a plan for like when the two halves of the railroad join, a bunch of people are.
Got it.
Oh, okay.
Just like
Gotcha.
throw a fancy person party to
At
make it look like
Got
they're
it.
the ones that did all the work.
Yeah, at the summer court, or okay, this is a gotcha. It's so there is going to be an event at the railhead.
Yeah.
Where the railhead's.
Yeah.
Okay. The joining ceremony is pomp and circumstance for when the railheads come together. So ignore what I said about the summer court. It's going to be here. If Philip, if my character would have known that. So. Yeah. Really, it's whenever they show up. So I would recommend sticking around.
Sure, but it's like 4 miles in that direction, right?
Correct. So, or right here if you stop. But you mentioned obligation, and also I don't foresee you two reining it in.
I don't know what you mean.
What? I'm extremely respectful to people in power, except my king.
We know when to
And that king.
turn it off.
And that person.
Shut up.
And
And
that
Laya.
other king.
And her brother.
Who's the king?
Exactly.
I'm saying the idea of leaving a job done enough doesn't seem y'all's style.
Okay.
Yeah, Mina, you don't have a great track record with the majority of the rulers of this world.
My family, my mother died trying to overthrow the government. Like, what part of that do you think didn't rub off on me?
Maybe if they were better people.
I mean, maybe if they were better at
Her
rebellions.
dead mom? Yeah, maybe if she was a better person.
No. The ruling class.
James, if the ruling class weren't good people, they wouldn't be the ruling class.
Fair point.
Okay. At that point, I don't really see a point in sending to the vizier. Vigilante said that they would inform the interested parties. Jack, actually, does that mean that you need to reach out to the benefactors?
Who now?
The people who gave you their money.
I never said I would.
I'm not asking. I'm not saying that you said you would. I'm asking if you would.
Yeah.
And if you don't,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I think someone
They can't get their
replaced-
money back.
Yeah.
I think
Yes,
someone
but I
replaced
assume
Jack
that they
for
would
that
want to
night.
be there.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was Puppet Jack.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Okay, then.
Yeah, we'll send him a letter.
This
Also-
commemorative certificate hereby
Jack?
certifies that you helped.
You own this square inch of
I-
railway.
I couldn't help notice. You don't seem to have the sending spell. Would you like to do some trading?
Sure.
Cool.
What are you buying?
Y'all are
What are you selling?
the ease with which it is to speak with y'all is not something I'm used to.
You want it to be harder?
I'm used to it being harder, yes. I'm used to having to impress people.
we don't like you, so it's just like only gonna move up from here.
Speak to yourself in the microphone.
Thank
I
you.
don't like you, so it can only go up from here.
I think Mina's trying to say we're difficult to impress.
Yeah, that one.
And I'm
So it may not be
trying
worth
to make
your
this.
time.
I'm not used. It's not that I'm not used to being impressive. I'm used to having to try, and like that being expected of me.
Okay.
That seems like a lot of wasted effort.
Yeah.
We expect very little of people in general.
Man, I wish
You're the
Elfari
last
was
one,
there.
so which ones do you want?
God, that sounds nice.
I want to go talk to Liz and give a speech to the crew.
Ooh.
Because we just hit the goal marker, the halfway point. It seems like an occasion to speak to the people who did the work.
Do you want to do a break, or do you want to do that after, before?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do the break.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll go take a quick break, and we'll be back in a few minutes, folks.
How do you not
Don't
like
go
me?
away. Hi, we're back. I got ice cream. Who else got ice cream?
I did not, but I
Oh,
reached
damn it! Why didn't you tell me ice cream? I have like so much in the freezer that I made.
I already ate my ice cream.
I got ice cream without any sugar or dairy in it, by which I mean water.
I
That
wanted
sounds like
ice
really
cream.
crappy ice cream.
Yeah.
I wanted ice cream, but we didn't have any in the house, so I just ate all of the jelly beans.
I'm not ready. I'm getting ice cream. God damn it!
I'm
Well,
gonna
in the
get
meantime-
gelato tomorrow.
Yeah, luckily I think we can.
there.
Yeah.
You're not there. You're in the sky getting
Ice
info.
Ice cream.
I mean, if you fly high enough, you could probably make ice cream.
Okay, but if there's any birds there, I want to do that.
Any chicks, Sam? Any chicks?
Oh no.
No, Phil, that is disgusting.
Oh, that's
what the
weird.
fuck is wrong with you?
Okay, so anyway, I'm gathering a list.
Yep.
Yeah. So.
And
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, right. Yeah, Carter's doing a really cool thing.
You might be overselling it there, but I am going to gather lists and gather the workers, and we're going to address the workers because they've done a good job. And I want Liz to be there because more FaceTime with Liz. And then also I want to talk to Liz afterwards.
Sounds good.
Okay. So everyone's celebrating, everyone's having a good time. Koku looks out at the crowd, calls the attention to herself.
Things quiet down a
We-
little bit. No.
Except for that one kid in the back.
Yeah.
Their kid.
Hold on. Okay. I'll help you, Kai. Hang on. Oh. He got the screen of his tablet wet, and now he can't get it to work. It's okay, Kai. We just have to dry it off.
We have a niece now.
Oh, yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you.
She has the most pinchable chubby cheeks.
She looks exactly
I
like her
saw.
brothers.
Okay. You have done an incredible thing. We have laid the rail here against the odds that were laid out against us. Griento Railway had better access to the material networks. Griento Railway had the favor of the Bruce. Griento Railway had fewer gaps to cross. But none of that mattered. because you pushed through.
Yeah.
Everything was stacked against you, and we've made incredible progress.
Yeah.
Woo!
Woo.
And we are going to keep pushing. We are going to show everyone the power of Liss Railways.
Yeah.
Liss
We can
Rail
do it.
Construction. Every mile we take from here is a mile you take for yourselves, for your children, for your grandchildren. You are etching your family names on the side of your country.
Yeah.
Woo.
I don't know how to write.
Victory
Kevin.
lap.
That robot talks way better than the other ones.
So drink, be merry. For tomorrow, we build.
In hell.
I, for one, submit to our robot overlords.
This robot gives me strange questions.
That's unnecessary, but I like the spirit. And now Liss. I hand it over to Liss to finish it off.
Men, you did this. It was because of you that we were able to push through and accomplish what they thought impossible. As our friend here said, the odds were stacked against us. And yet, you proved everybody wrong. We put up with ice zombies, sabotage, delays, bridges, tunnels, all through it all. You
I
men
found a
got
cool
it
rock
done.
in there.
Everybody cheers. And now we're gonna push through and get that bonus reward for everybody, for Liss Railways, for our future, for Bear.
Yeah.
But
I use
mostly for
fling to
Cuckoo.
send like little rocks up into the air.
Choo choo.
Okay. And then I want to talk with Liss afterwards.
Okay.
I don't think it'll be a long scene. I just want to do a short little thing. So I'm going to find him in a spot to the side while the festivities are going on.
Mhm.
I have to admit, I underestimated you.
I think I did too, about myself.
You have shown incredible strength. And I haven't once had to hunt down the train to drag you back to the railhead. Which honestly, I was expecting to have to do at least twice.
Well, once I got here and could see the man, it meant more to me to see them succeed than I thought it would. I mean, we're making history here. These machines, you, and all of this, it's life-changing.
You have the chance to do incredible things. There's a new world coming, and I hope to see you in it.
You as well, my friend. If you ever miss the rails once you go back home, we'll definitely have more projects that you're welcome to join on.
I may just take you up on that.
Are there more railroads in Ressur than there are here?
Hush. It's a good moment.
I miss working on the rails, but
Yeah. I think that's the fade out. I think that's the end of the scene.
Yeah.
I just wanted to have that moment between Liss and Coco.
it's actually like the one rail line in Reeser is probably like about the same length as this one that you guys are completing.
Mhm.
And they don't really have there's not a rail line between Slate and Flint.
Huh.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, that's weird actually. I guess the terrain must be super bad.
Yeah, it's cutting through jungle almost the whole way, and the biggest rail companies
I am sure
are out of Dinar and Dractor.
Yeah, I'm sure there's also some treaties and actions between the court and the Fae that also have to be maintained.
Oh, for sure.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. It's probably a lot harder to get essentially the railway rights.
Yeah.
Or the right of ways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, getting the line that they have was enough for the heartache, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Am I back yet?
Yeah, sounds good. Everybody's kind of partying, celebrating, cracking open some kegs.
I remembered a joke and I'm going to save it for later. It's not that funny, anyways.
Thanks for playing
Well, now I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, cool. I'll gather everyone up, I guess. I mean, even Aloysia can be part of this. Like, I don't think there's any confidential information about what was going on with Griento. Griento's men are being pushed pretty hard. He is physically fine. They're about 8 miles away.
They have to be less than that because
7
the
or 8 miles.
the bridge is about 8 miles away.
7 or 8 miles. I don't know. They're
Okay.
Yeah, they're somewhere in this range. About as far away from the bonus as well. I guess there's no flag for the bonus. I don't know. Anyways, I did talk to him about maybe us like hammering in the nail at the bonus at the same time, if that's a possibility.
Did he say?
I opened the opportunity for the discussion at the very least. I'm assuming we're going to get there first, given that morale on his end is low, and because we hit the goal, he suspects that Laya's men are going to leave, which will take some pressure off.
Did he get attacked by zombies? Why is he so far behind?
He didn't get attacked by zombies. He did say he was raided by some lizard folk that said that the railway was going through their area.
Okay.
So he had to spend some of his money on that. I don't know if he had to rebuild anything, but he did have to spend money.
Why didn't Laya help with that?
I've got no clue. I mean, his men did come. Laya's men did come with a lot of money initially.
Sure.
I don't know if some of that money went towards that.
And perhaps Griento did succeed in holding them back somewhat.
Sure. I just expected it to be a lot closer than it was.
True. Did he say if he plans to make the bonus mile tomorrow or the next day?
No, he didn't give me any timeline. I was expecting at our pace that we would hit it before him, which is why I opened the door for we could be in it. Once we're close enough, they could talk to each other and see if they want to agree on splitting it or something. Since it's halfway between us, probably.
They might be a little closer. And if they are, it might be enough.
Go one better.
Well, the trouble is, we're out of money.
Oh.
We're going to make the bonus in 2 days. There's very little that we can do to speed that up. We have a little extra money, but not enough to get there tomorrow.
Well, then, honestly, I'm kind of glad that I opened up the talk, the option for talking. it might be in both their interests to look as if they're collaborating at that last mile.
I have a
It
better.
would
Sorry,
send a wonderful signal.
I did forget to mention. And I don't know if this changes the calculation, but you got a morale bonus for all that.
Oh, it might. Let me see. 1 bonus morale, I assume?
Yeah.
Let me take a look, actually. If we...
So I made a bunch of ice cream from scratch, and I just I had a bunch of cookies that were gonna go stale, so I just blended them up and mixed them in.
Nice.
So it's
What
not
kind of
quite
cookies?
cookie dough, but it's close.
What kind of cookies?
Just chocolate chip.
It does get us closer, but it still doesn't get us there the next day.
Okay.
It
How
gets
are
us
you
to within
gonna-
a mile on the next day.
Eloise
you
is
run
gonna
into
chime
negative?
in.
Could you run into negative morale?
It wouldn't help even if we could.
Got it.
Oh, is it the materials that were short?
Yes, and we
Yeah.
already have the material at this point. We have the materials that we're going to have for tomorrow.
Mhm.
Because we had to order them this morning.
Right.
So I can't change the amount of material that we have, and we only have 3 material.
Mhm.
You should give the last spike to the Bruce.
Allow the Bruce to put the last spike in.
If you put the Bruce and the Monarchy in, if they finish it,
Then neither of them gets the bonus. do
or
both of them get
you
the bonus?
press it to where they both have to be given the bonus. Make that diplomatic concession. Make that thing. Make that offer to the Bruce. He gets to finish his country's railway. He gets the image, the spotlight, and the attention, and then you make a press that both railways get the bonus. You get the favor of letting him be the hero that finished his railway, and then the bureaucrats are going to figure out the bonus mile at the end.
It's not the worst idea.
It's potentially solid. We would need to get Griento and Liss in the same room tomorrow to agree on it.
They will be very close, and I can bridge the gap. I can get Liss to Griento.
Depending on how far Griento gets tomorrow,
Mhm.
we will be likely within a few miles.
Because this was just something that I forgot to ask. Can we send a message to Griento saying we'd like to bring Liss to you about how far do you think you're going to make it? Yes, no.
I don't know who you're asking.
I can't.
I'm asking anyone in the party
I've
that
never
can do
met the
message.
I've never met the man.
Or sending, sorry,
I
not
can
message.
do sending, but we only have 4 of these left.
I can
pretty
teach
much
you,
at the end.
I can front you the spell.
Okay, cool. Cool. Tell me what you want me to say.
We would like to bring Liss to you for discussion regarding the railway completion. I have not been counting these words. How far do you think you're getting?
Yeah,
How many
okay.
words
You
was that?
cut out not counting. Yeah.
Sam was counting.
Oh, good.
He was
What number
counting,
did I
but
get?
included I don't know how many words. I
Yeah.
said.
I
Yeah.
also put in some of the uhs.
Oh, bullshit. No one else gets to count the us.
I don't say
It's a filler word,
It's a filler
Yeah.
word.
so technically a word.
You never listen to the radio station when they played the
That was a
game?
James not a Bill Ferry
How do we tell the difference?
Ilferi sound like...
Yeah.
So when James makes the noise, that means that Ilferi is
Got it.
pausing on words. Otherwise, no. James, can you give us one of those real quick, just so we can know how those sound? Thank you.
How many words
okay.
was it? Without me counting, like, is that like
You
23?
were pretty much
Yeah.
right at it. I think.
Yes. I'm the best at sending. I should be a wizard.
But yeah, I have the sending spell and the material that would allow Sam to put it into his character's spell book, and then I want the fireball spell. I don't have it.
We'll trade that.
I mean, what's your int, James? Could you multi-class?
9.
Okay. All right.
Remember
you just
how
need
I-
2 more. You just need 2 more ability score
anti-s.
adjustments. Yeah.
Yeah. You remember how I constantly say that Ilferi's dumb? It's
Yeah.
because he had a 10 intelligence for a short while when he went to school, and he's like, school's dumb, and then I traded it in for 2 wisdom.
And my character's a wizard with 16 int, walking around with a headband of intelligence.
That sounds like cheating.
It's not cheating; it's a family heirloom.
Oh wow, a family heritage of cheating.
So the response comes.
I like to think of it as ADHD meds.
We should be within 1 mile of marker 150 by tomorrow evening. I agreed to parlay. FYI, Laya's men are gone.
All good news.
Do you share this with the party?
Yeah.
Well, that's all good news, and them leaving is pretty expected, actually.
It is expected, though not necessarily good news. If they believe that our completion of the railway has sunk their chances of winning the Bruce's favor,
Oh, they might try to kidnap Oddcog.
exactly.
Right. And there's no way to teleport to the court. I don't expect that he's held at the court, but that's where the Bruce is.
I can teleport to the court.
The court doesn't have a teleportation circle, does it?
Oh, it doesn't.
Mm-mm.
I need to. I need to.
It doesn't have a teleportation circle that we are aware of, at the very
Right.
least.
That's.
I don't know.
Okay, then I'll ask Chris. Is there a teleportation, and am I aware of it, or is it like one of the secret, like only the Secret Service knows about it, back exits of emergencies for
That one.
protecting the king? Okay, if there is one, I don't know about it.
Yeah.
You would have to know about it because there are instances where people have arrived sooner than they could have otherwise.
Gotcha.
And
So you'd be aware of its existence.
Maybe
but you wouldn't
even,
know its code. Maybe.
you talk with some of the guards and know that it exists, but you wouldn't
Gotcha.
know the access.
But I
codes.
would not know it. Yeah, I don't have that level of clearance.
Right.
So we could attempt to blindly teleport there, but it would be a bad idea.
How long does it take to get from CO Brigand to the Summer Court?
About a half a day
Half a day?
Yeah.
As the crow flies or overland?
on train,
Which is
which is
Like-
mostly.
no,
as
I thought
the
there was.
flies.
I didn't think
There's
there was
a
train.
road, which is what you guys took the first time,
Okay.
was horse carriage, or there's a train that gets.
There's a train that goes
close.
near it. Yeah.
I can forward concerns along.
Yeah, I mean they need to triple the guard or something. I'm sure he's under. Well, probably not lock and key. He's not a
Otherwise,
prisoner, but
The best I can do is acquire an item from the location.
from the summer court.
Yeah.
Oh, you have like a way to.
If I know if someone I know is there. I could
Vigilante is there, isn't?
I don't know where know where Vigilante is at all times. They have many duties that takes them many places.
Well, last
if
time
they
I
are
spoke-
there, I could, with enough pre-planning foresight, spell availability, I could have an item from there in potentially 2 hours.
Last I spoke to
on
Zarkava,
average?
she was there as well. And Zarkava is swamped with paperwork, so they're probably not leaving anytime soon.
I'm not. I could see if they would acquiesce. I don't work for them. That's awkward. I can check with the general, though. Let me double check. I have that spell, so I can do it now. And they would just need enough time. So let me double check this spell, because the window for them putting the item in the box, I think, is only a few minutes.
I mean, this is all assuming that Oddcog is being held at the court, which we don't know. I was only mentioning the court because that's the closest source of information to the people that know where Oddcog is being kept. He could be anywhere. And I wouldn't be surprised if Laya has been spending her time trying to figure out where. Because we don't know.
But
And we
that's
can
against
presume-
the rules.
And we can
Okay. The spell.
Yeah.
Never mind. The spell doesn't work the way I thought it does. They can't put. I can only send items. They can't put then put items in the box, and the box comes back.
That's what I thought.
I misremembered how the spell works.
Yeah, just as for someone that Laya's men
Yeah.
have left the train
Yeah,
site.
I can fill
And
that
we have
out
reason
in a-
to suspect that they may be attempting to intercept Oddcog.
I can also pass along any pre-planning of the 2 railways coming to Parlay and potentially a ceremony involving the Bruce.
We will
give
likely-
me-
Let's
We
wait
will
on that
likely
until
re-
we've actually had the conversation.
Yes.
No, more planning. They need a heads up if they're going to be altering the ceremony.
And regardless of how the parlay goes, we will likely be meeting sometime early in the morning on the bonus mile, the day after tomorrow. Because
Okay.
at the end of by tomorrow evening, we will both be within a mile.
Sorry, by tomorrow.
We will both be a
Evening?
mile away.
By
Okay.
tomorrow evening, both we and Griento will be within a mile of the final spike.
Okay. 2 railways are coming close. By the evening of, that would be checking calendar. So that would be the evening of the 14th.
Yeah. So we're currently on the evening of the 13th. Yeah. Friday the 13th.
Ooh.
Ooh, get fucked.
Except there's
Is
Oh, is
13 a
that what
bad
happens
luck
on
no
number?
cultural association with that in this world. So,
Okay. What's the
we'll
bad
be
luck
within a
number in this
mile.
world?
That's what I was asking too.
probably
Laya's party.
Yeah. I thought of
Weirdly enough, it's B.
Is it 11?
Is 13?
Oh! No wonder the B squad's doing so bad.
They are
Laya's
13 and B. It's everything.
Oh, I was
Laya's-
thinking
I
it
feel
was
like
8.
it would be 9.
party
Maybe-
Lia's
maybe
party has abandoned their project.
That was a fun filler episode in Full Metal.
Actually, yeah, 8.
8. Okay. 8 is the unlucky number.
Because that's
Good
the
to know.
the eighth plane is Nem, right?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Okay. Lia's party has abandoned their project. The constables
Yep. That's one Sky Seer point.
have
Yes.
raised...
I do my homework sometimes, I swear.
If you get enough of those, you can turn them in, and you get a poster of all the stars.
About
Neato. What about the
odd
planets?
cogs.
Oh, fuck.
It looks
Security.
Oh wait, it's not coming through. The thing, but you can see.
They believe
Yeah, I see it.
if
My thing is
Laya-
out on this stream.
Lance Reddick died.
has
Shit.
they believe if Laya has they believe if Laya has lost, she will seize the engineer by any means necessary.
Yeah. At any cost.
It's
Save
at
your
least
work.
possible.
You see her prestidigitate that line of ink off and then rewrite by at any cost.
Wait, the fairy wouldn't point that out, would he? He's a dumb bird. Do dumb birds know how to count words? Yeah,
This isn't ascending.
Count the
You see
8
me writing this on paper.
Oh.
I'm writing out a report.
I thought you were planning out your sending spell.
No, well, I do that too, but you're seeing this is way too long. Like this is paragraphs of immaculate script. Wherever odd cog is being held, the area should be reinforced and secured. I trust the constables at their word and their insight into Lia's predicted actions. The constables are organizing a parlay between the two railheads. Expect a follow-up on any potential occurrences for the joining ceremony. Da-da-da, fold up, seal, ring, da-da-da. And okay. Let's send this along. Take out knife, cut, 1d10 damage. Ow.
How do you not run out of
Eh.
blood?
Hmm?
Like, you do this a lot. How do you not run out of blood?
She makes a lot of blood.
I have a lot of blood.
Do you have a
So
blood
do you.
donor?
I can't use other people's blood. It's against the rules. Trust me, I would. Well, except for the one spell. That one spell needs someone else's blood. Anyway, a little imp with a little black metal box appears, opens the lid. I put the envelope inside, shut the box, and it puffs away in a cloud of black smoke.
How many mouths did that imp have? Please just say one. Please,
only,
please.
only the one mouth that you could see, but he had extra thumbs.
No. Of course.
I was going to say no limbs, only mouths.
Ugh.
What is this?
It's basically a
white
gibbering
Phyrexian
mouth.
creature? Yeah,
Yeah. teeth.
just gonna make that joke every week. Cool.
And that was going to general visual update.
All right.
It's like those angels that are a bunch of eyes and wings, except it's all just teeth.
Teeth.
I'm into it.
But there's no response from that.
No, they have no way of sending it back. This is how I send my field reports.
Yeah.
If they want to send anything to me, they have someone, I guess, cast a sending spell, or they could also have someone cast this spell.
Sure.
It's only 4th level.
Yeah.
I'm willing to bet that the filing cabinet that like contains reports, like they have one for you and then one for like a bunch of other agents.
Yes. Because you also saw my staff copying me, because now I have a copy of the report I sent.
Man.
No, actually, like that one I get. Like that's a lot like Shrubbles.
What's a Shrubbles?
Don't worry about it. National security.
Yeah, very national security.
I write down. You see me just write something down.
Struggles? ?
Followed by Shrubbles ? Because I'm not sure which was said or how it was spelt.
Yeah.
And
pronouncing B's with a beak is a little tough.
And that report just
Struggles.
gets slid into the mouth in my sternum.
Ugh. Sometimes I like occasionally zone out because I'm not super like important in some of these discussions, and then I like zone back in time for you to shove something in a mouth on part of your body where there shouldn't be a fucking mouth.
I don't have a mouth there. My armor does.
I hate it.
So the first thing we're gonna do when we get you to restore is fucking makeover.
I just see lipstick on all these mouths.
I was saying, get
way
her
worse.
out of that armor.
Oh, it's totally worse.
That's way worse.
Well, what's really weird is that they don't have lips.
Yeah, we draw them on with lip liner and lipstick.
Oh my god.
Or we just give them all grills.
I mean, if you're,
That's better.
I have formal wear for the joining ceremony.
God, stop it.
Though I'll probably have to wear my uniform instead.
Okay, we've prepared everyone. We're going to be meeting up with Creator tomorrow.
I never get to wear the gown.
Sorry, this is all in character. Is there anything else we need to prepare for, or are we good to go to bed? Because it is kind of late, I'm assuming. I mean, I've been flying all day.
Yeah.
And boy, are your arms tired?
You were flying
Yes!
for probably 3 to 4 hours after work had already stopped, and then there was, people partying. So yeah, it's probably getting on towards midnight at this point.
Yeah, railroad.
We'll have an early day tomorrow.
So I'm gonna go ahead and knock off the 300 gold for me and Jack doing the spell exchange. So Jack, you now have sending in your spell book.
Yep.
And I have fireball.
Doesn't it cost like time too?
Yeah. 3 it'll take 3 hours per spell. I can do that tonight. Or we did it. It was part of that because otherwise y'all wouldn't have been able to do the sending.
Yep.
Yeah, I think
I was going to point that out, but then it already happened, and so I was just going to be like, we'll hand wave it as not that important.
Yeah, I think you have enough downtime.
I mean, I don't have to sleep tonight if I don't to get it done overnight.
There was definitely plenty of time while I was gone that
I got potions of watchful rest. I don't need to sleep.
Coffee.
Tastes like tangerines, actually.
She uses tangerines.
I don't get this reference. I'm sorry.
It's a Flaming Lips song. Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay.
That would be why it's repellent to me.
She don't use jelly. It's the name of the song, if anyone's curious.
I've got a Skyseer vision, but are we continuing for a little bit?
We'll wrap up with the ceremony, I think.
Okay. Skyseer vision for tomorrow is... I mean, it's going to be just... Is there anything I should keep an eye out for while transporting lists to Griento?
Are there any buffet items I should avoid at the ceremony?
That's I can't ask about that because that's not tomorrow.
Oh.
I'm only allowed to ask about tomorrow. I guess I could ask further out, but that's not within.
Should I warn the chef not to prep anything for the joining ceremony?
There doesn't seem to be any significant. You maybe get some glimpses of work being done on the railroad.
Mhm.
Or like,
Watch out for moving timber and
like
big
a
arcane.
workman like drops a beam on his foot, or something like that. But
I'm sorry to inform you, Liz, but the stars have said that your foot is being broken tomorrow.
Should you try to avoid this fate, you will inevitably cause it.
Rebuild. I can also put up 3 towers for the night.
Okay.
Because arcane recovery.
I just sleep with my staff. It's so convenient. 5-foot tree.
I just don't sleep.
So everyone gets a tower.
You get a tower. You get a tower. Everybody gets a tower.
I don't. Just because Koku doesn't sleep doesn't mean they can't enjoy comforts of a building in a comfortable place.
Yeah.
Fair.
I appreciate that you
Mineral
are
oil
creating a room in the tower for Koku. Koku doesn't use it.
or I guess it would be just a.
I don't think it's optional.
You and Jack. Actually,
Yeah, so there's one tower for you, one tower for Jack, and one tower for Mina.
basically, yeah.
It's mostly an optics thing with Koku
Yeah.
because she's trying to inspire workers, and if she's sleeping in the comfy tower, it doesn't send the right message.
Hi.
Hi, cat.
I can't make the tower big enough for everyone yet.
All right.
Yet.
Night happens. Next day, apply the materials delivered to
Ka-chunk.
the ground.
Yep. And the morale gained. We spend only 1 money today because we only need 1 more mile worth of materials. Require 3 money. We acquire 1 material. We acquire 0 morale. No, you know what? I'm going to spend 2 money, the 2 extra money we have
Morale.
on a morale, so that we end this with 1 morale.
Yeah.
Because we have exactly enough to do that.
What happens if the parlay doesn't go well?
It doesn't matter. We only have 1 mile to go, no matter what.
Oh, okay.
More material is not going to lay track faster.
Okay, I wasn't sure if that's how that worked. Like with whatever the
Morale lets you
resource metrics were.
lay more miles in a day,
Yeah.
but not. But if there's only 1 mile to do, you get.
They still take as much time as they take. It's just we can push them further and push them longer.
Gotcha.
And as the day gets on and you get closer to your stopping point, you start to see smoke on the horizon, and then eventually the opposing team working its way towards you.
Well, it's just 1 mile, so I actually don't need to turn into a horse and we just go as a group.
Yeah, we're somewhere between 1 and 2 miles apart from each other.
Yeah. So I figure we can meet at the bonus point.
Yeah, you see someone from the other side walk out and set up like a little canopy tent in the middle space between where you each stop for the day. And as the evening train rolls in, it's there are some extra people aboard who show up looking in well-dressed suits and whatnot, asking around, milling about with the workers and talking to certain lists and causing a fuss.
Yeah. Do I recognize any of these people?
Yeah, there's certainly people that have been around the summer court. There's not really anyone. There's not really a high-ranked official.
But so just random bureaucrats that I have seen before in some meeting at some point.
More business people than
Okay.
like people of state affairs.
Gotcha. There's like potentially then people
a
that the treasury
minister
would have
of
interacted
transport.
with. Okay.
Who's here? Who's probably the highest ranked.
Okay. Point is, these are not unfamiliar, suspicious faces.
Right.
Okay.
And some of them have servants with them who go to set up tents for them, and very luxurious looking tents. One or two of them might even have a mage who sets up like something equivalent to your tower.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, before we head out, I will be there to greet and eye for suspicious faces, the people that are arriving, and if any of them are like interested in the machines or the workers, I'll talk to them, introduce them.
Some of them are definitely interested in the machines, and actually Pemberton would probably be here.
Yeah, for sure.
He's
Which one's Pemberton?
He's the one
person who made the robots.
Oh, okay.
Businessman.
A roboticist.
Pemberton Industries is his company.
Okay.
He had loaned the.
Okay.
Bots.
Is that a Resurian?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah, he's from Reeser. He's actually called out in the player's handbook.
Okay.
So yeah, he's definitely giving his spiel. Very much like playing up like, look at what they've done. They've gone well and passed their goal in record time. He's making it seem like he single-handedly made this happen, which he certainly helped.
His machines certainly did help. That's true. And he gave us a discount because I sold him on the idea of this being a great marketing opportunity, so I'm just going to let him go.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, sounds good.
Okay.
If anyone needs to be isolated from the rest, I can wrap them in a wall of thorns or something. If they're super dangerous.
Think that's necessary?
Probably not. But I'm letting them know it's an option. It doesn't even have to hurt them. It would just be like a circle around them.
For who?
If someone dangerous, I don't know. If they're a dangerous spy, I'll wrap them in a wall of thorns.
What?
Man,
What's dangerous out here? Should I be worried?
I don't think Ilfari's saying that out loud.
No, I said that to Koku before.
I thought you were saying that to the VIP people.
No,
don't worry. If anything attacks you.
No.
There are a couple zombies here just recently.
Bushes.
No, Ilfari's not talking to these poncy farts.
Okay. So yeah, Griento is seen heading out towards the middle for the parlay.
Oh boy, parlay.
Yeah. gather up
More like
Bliss.
partay.
Liss excuses
over.
himself from the dignitaries and follows along.
Aloysia,
Hmm?
I think you should be at this parlay.
I
I was
agree.
planning to be.
It's your plan. But at least one, and more likely two of us, should stay behind just in case something happens here at the railhead.
We'll stay. Jack says, looking over at Mina.
Sounds like a plan.
Sure.
I mean, I can stay behind. That's fine if you wanted to go say hi to Griento or something.
I mean, I kind of did, yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna go
Yeah,
ahead.
I'd stay.
All right.
I'm talking to him.
Jack and Ilferi will stay here. They make an excellent team.
Do we, though?
Here's the thing. Koku's not
better.
kidding. The two of you actually make an excellent team. You're
Yeah.
very effective.
You guys actually get a lot done.
We're getting along better. And I'm, you showed a lot of trust in me when we had that fight, which I appreciate. Yeah, we're staying behind. Hopefully nothing happens. If it does, wild thorns.
You guys come back and just like all of the dignitaries are just like
everywhere.
separately wrapped up in like thorns suspended.
Now I'm
in
just
the
thinking
air.
of that bit on Stroker and Hoop where Hoop's hallucinating and thinks it's a superhero. Better stay back.
Yeah.
Unless you're looking for a freaking.
Yeah, I think, Aloysia's done up in their uniform. They have.
Wait, isn't it Aloysia now?
You just
What
pronounced
did I
your
just
own
say?
character. You said Aloysia.
Sorry, okay.
That's what I
was
thought it was
wondering that too.
originally.
Because I was
Okay,
like, oh, have I been
so-
doing it wrong?
No.
I know I haven't been
So
doing it.
I have been actually trying to not fall into it because this is a feminative derivative of a name that can be pronounced Aloysius or Aloysius, and so I am also trying to make sure I don't F it up because I have it. Yeah, I'm looking at y'all right now for some reason instead of my character sheet that has
Well
my
done,
character's name phonetically spelt out in 5 places.
I think
It's
we've all
just,
done
it sounds
now.
like alopecia.
Or
That's
wait,
it.
has
It's the easiest part.
Sam? Have
Alopecia.
you ever messed up the name?
Aloysia? I don't think so.
No.
Okay.
I haven't
All right.
either.
I definitely have.
Yeah.
Because it's alopecia.
It's alopecia. The only time I've messed it up is when I
Sorry.
said
yeah.
Alyosha.
The
So,
Snyders
yeah,
are these
basically
strange things called competent.
my character is just like in meeting
Never
mode.
heard of it.
Yes.
Is it
There-
edible?
Yeah.
So
Sometimes.
you've got your notebooks.
Yeah.
You've
Oh,
got
yeah.
Your,
Yeah.
does your staff just have like a little like writing desk on it?
Yes, it does now. That's very easily. That could very easily be set up.
Hold up. Does it have a roll top though? If it doesn't have a
No,
roll top,
but I
is
can
it even
summon
a
a
writing
tower.
desk?
I can summon a tower with a roll up.
Okay, acceptable.
I'm just imagining it just like a little.
That's in the
like,
office. Y'all just
Oh,
haven't
it's
seen the
little-
office. None of y'all have gone to the office,
It's a
No,
or
clipboard.
at least
Well,
none of you have made
maybe.
comment of going to the
Yeah.
office.
I just love roll top writing desks. Just me,
so
Carter, in
cool.
real life. I just
No.
like them.
They're so good.
When you guys arrive at the tent, it looks like Riento set up a little, just a nice little like tea cakes and
Mhm.
coffee, tea, water.
Did he bring his cool
Chill.
new giant succulent?
There are some nice decor. He must have brought his stylist with him,
Mhm.
who did
Koku
up the
subtly-
tent pretty nicely. There's some carpet or some rugs on the grassy, dusty ground.
Koku subtly elbows Mina and just like eyes the coffee.
That smells nice. What's that?
Oh, it's was actually imported from Chrysalier. Only the finest coffee that I think there is.
Y'all know, you notice Aloysia wrinkle their nose at the mention of Chrysalier.
I thought you were going to say they hated coffee.
Never had it. Isn't it a pretty recent thing, and also, as you said, a thing from Chrysalier?
Yeah.
So yeah, I probably haven't had it.
It might, just looking, just like biogeographically, it might grow in Reeser as well, though I'm not sure.
Makes sense. But it's definitely
It
getting
would grow.
marketed.
Actually, wouldn't it be more likely that it would grow very well in Resur, but not necessarily be native to?
I mean, yeah, not necessarily native,
Yeah.
but
Anyway,
it very well may grow there. Is all I was saying.
yeah.
Also, with this many nations this close together, probably half of any plant you see anywhere is not going to be native.
Probably.
Other than like old trees.
Griento holds a hand out to certain lists. Liz, it's good to see you face to face. It's been too long, friend. And Liz responds, yes. Believe it was the Train Masters Convention, 498. Yes. That was a fun one. You've certainly done well out here. Heard about Pemberton's machines. Yes, they certainly came in handy. The future, one might predict. Yes, I'll probably have to look into getting some myself. I'm working on the Cantabrio project next. Oh yes, I heard that's stalled out. I'm sure they're just like exchanging very like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Despite being rivals on this project, you can tell they have like respect for each other,
Which is good. While they're doing that, I'm gonna take a look. Who has Griento brought with him?
There's a half-orc who seems to be wearing robes and holding a staff.
Mm-hmm.
Probably one of their construction mages. There's like a his wife, who you met before. I think she would be here at this point.
Okay, his wife.
Actually, it would probably make sense that she's the one who did the nice touches of the decor and whatnot. So you might see her like adjusting some of the plants, fidgeting with them to get them just right. And another half-orc who kind of stands just behind him, who you would probably think is either an assistant or some other business partner, something
Apprentice,
yeah,
something
a little bit younger than him.
Yeah, is the man we don't know? Is he dressed like he might be an employee of Grientos, or is he dressed more like he might be like an investor or possibly Grientos' other family?
He's wearing a nice suit, as is Griento.
Okay, so he isn't
like,
necessarily, but he could be
yeah.
Grientos' family.
Mhm.
Okay, because I know that his family is who we're kind of really trying to fight against on this. Sorry, sudden baby drama.
Actually, yeah, to that end, it probably makes sense that there would be like an older, more patriarchal looking one there with them.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
So after pleasantries, Liz says something along the lines, so my associates tell me there's some sort of deal you're interested in, perhaps. And the older half-orc steps in and says, my son-in-law here spoke out of turn. There's no concession that can be made. I think that it's best that we do our best work and see who gets the final stretch before the other.
Not even if it means joining the Bruce in ceremony.
We believe there may be
kind of gives like a side eye to him, and just kind of like, just chill. Like, let me handle this.
We believe that there may be a way to convince the Bruce to give both of you the full share.
Rienta turns his head. That would be a favorable outcome.
We have someone with closer knowledge of the Bruce, and I kind of nod my head towards Aloysia. Would you care to explain?
The Bruce has set the challenge for you two to compete for who for this bonus mile, and the winner receiving a sum total of looking back to Koku. It was, I feel like you said it earlier. It was what, 2,200?
No, 2,200. 2,200 is the amount that Liz personally owes Koku. That's a different thing.
Okay, then how much do they get if they win?
25,000.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay, that's more than I initially thought it was. But you know what? We're a nation built on the horde of dragons. We got bank. The Bruce loves competition. He loves games. It inspires boldness and excellence. But there's in turn, you can instead play your own. If you come together and instead try to give the Bruce something, say the glory of finishing the railroad himself, then the two of you, I'm sure, would be handsomely rewarded in turn, as the Bruce would lose face if they do not reward such a gift in turn. Change the game, change the stakes, and both of you can come away not only with gold, but closer ties to the court and prestige that you wouldn't have had otherwise.
Seems risky, says Liz. I don't know if I can take the risk or not. Full disclosure, this money is owed to Pemberton.
There is another angle that those of you considering the long term may not have yet considered. And Koku kind of, when saying those of you considering the long term, she kind of nods to the more patriarchal looking gentleman.
Ooh. Throw that shade.
It's not shade. She thinks that he is thinking long term on the investment of his.
Oh, I thought you were saying that
company.
he wasn't thinking long term.
No, I think he is thinking long term. I think
okay,
that's
continue.
why he doesn't want to to make a deal
okay.
because he wants the prestige. He thinks that that's the most important thing.
He looks interested towards you.
There will be photographs. It may be an angle you are. The new technology may be an angle you're not as used to considering. But those photographs will outlive you. They will outlive us all. And that's important. Think of the power of the image. Having the 2 trains at the railhead, 2 workers, whoever you believe best represents you, with Griento and Liss standing behind them as the 2 of them work together to drive the last spike in, an incredible image of unity. And with your names, Griento and Liss, emblazoned for all to see for all time. It is prestige beyond simple winnings. You will have your names in history books passed down to children generations after you are gone. And your descendants will see their own names on those photographs.
The older orc kind of scratches at his chin. People do love a coming together story, especially in these times. And
We've done enough.
Griento kind of looks hopefully towards him.
Yeah, we've done enough fighting. We've earned our piece here and there.
Well, I'm already in the hole enough. I suppose if it doesn't work out, I can work something out with Pemberton.
I believe Pemberton will be very amenable after tonight. He seemed to be having an excellent time at his rounds.
It certainly was a risk he invested in that I believe has come out well for him. I think it's worth a shot. Griento kind of looks over at the other man for a moment and then holds out a hand towards Liss. And Liss reaches out and shakes it as well.
Yes! We did it! Woo!
Yeah, compromise. Friendship.
Wonderful.
So, I guess
I
I'll
agree.
see you on this spot tomorrow afternoon. And we shall turn the honor over to the Bruce. Or his representative if he... I didn't see him arrive on my half. But I know he's busy.
Yes. I had imagined he had. He wasn't on ours either. Oh, or was that Liz speaking?
Yeah, that was less, but
Oh, sorry. I thought that was Green. Never mind.
it's all good.
I'm sure he'll be arriving in due time. I'll be reaching out to the I'll be sending a report to the summer court to make them aware of this decision. We can't have them too far behind on the ceremony, or lest make them seem the fool.
Very well, Griento says. Rest well tonight. I look forward to a bright future for Bear and for both of our companies.
I'm sure your family's family legacies will be secured by this time tomorrow.
Please enjoy the why can't I not think of like refreshment? That's the word.
Mhm.
Please enjoy the plants.
My wife went all out to make things very comfortable here.
Thank you.
We are privileged.
After the meeting, I would like to talk to Griento.
Same.
I'll start getting the paperwork going.
Griento, it is good to meet you.
Likewise, I feel like I may have met you in some form.
You.
I think Koku came out during the fight with the.
Oh yeah, she did because we were out of the dead magic zone.
Yeah.
That's right. You did, though I looked quite different. You knew Zeodor.
Yeah, how is the lad?
He has personal business he is attending to.
I know
But-
what that's like.
Though I only knew you very briefly, he spoke very highly of you. And of your children. Apparently they are quite bright as well.
Oh, they're the light of my life. Perhaps you'll see them tomorrow at the final ceremony.
It would be a pleasure. I'm trying to remember his daughter's name. The one that Zeodor wanted to train.
I don't have it in front of me. It was...
I think it's in the notes. I'm trying to pull it up. Dabo.
Yeah, that's it.
Is Dabo as spirited as ever?
Oh, you don't know the half of it. She's, in recent years, just found more ways to get herself into trouble. But they keep me young.
That covers the scene I wanted Koku to have. I just wanted Koku to formally meet Griento.
Yeah, but Mina wanted to talk to him too.
Dabo and Taro. Actually, Dabo's the older one. I forgot. She'd probably be the one that he would start training in the company business soon.
Ilfairy said you ran into trouble with lizard dudes.
Yes, it was some locals that I guess whoever was sent out to survey did either not fully convey what was happening, or they refused, and I don't know. It should be all sorted out by now.
So what happened?
Oh, they were demanding bribes for us getting through their territory, harassing us. Slowed down our pace, which between you and me is probably the only reason we're at the same point we are right now.
Sure. Well, I'm sorry.
Oh, seems like it's all working out for the best.
I mean, yeah.
I think the message that we can send with this union is better prestige and better for the company than
Oh, yeah.
just outright defeating an opponent.
Yeah, don't tell the weird one that came with us, but it was a really good idea.
I'm standing right here. No.
What?
They stepped off to the side.
You're definitely
Yeah, I know.
not.
You're not here. You're doing paperwork.
Coffee. I try his coffee though. Is it any good?
Oh yeah, it's pretty good.
Does it taste like Cipriano coffee?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Uh-huh.
You recognize that the distinct acidity.
Nice.
It might be a little bit like not quite as fresh as
Sure.
the
I mean, yeah, because they have to turn it into liquid first because of tariffs. It's a whole thing. It's not enjoyable.
Horrifying. I
Yeah,
don't even drink
no,
coffee,
it's-
and that sounds nasty.
That's how it used to be. You had to do wacky shit because of like the tariffs based on liquids versus solids, and so coffee imported was gross. It was disgusting.
Oh, is that how coffee crystals got popular? Because they're dehydrated coffee.
Maybe in more modern times. This was like old
Oh, okay.
times. I'm talking like mid 1700s.
Okay. Neat. I didn't know that.
Yeah, but then barrel technology got better.
All right. Well, if that about does it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm like writing up a report to the general. Liz and Griento have come to an accord. They wish to give the honor and prestige of finishing the Trans-Baron Railway to the Bruce. The companies wish to see the project completed as an act of unity, pleasantries, etc., etc., etc. I'm sure the Bruce would be more than eager to be seen at this momentous event. As for the winnings, I'm sure the crown would be most gracious to reward both of these distinguished competitors and cement the legacy of our great nation, blah, blah, blah.
Do you send anything else with the letter?
That the railway will be basically ready in the next 2 days, and that a finishing ceremony could easily be organized and put together.
It'll be ready tomorrow.
It's tomorrow. Yeah, it's tomorrow.
Right, but the idea is that they can meet, but then it stopped. Everything stops, and the Bruce comes in. And you have a ceremony, right? You don't just like you stop with the last inch, and then the king comes in. You have a big party, and the king does the thing, and then that's done, right?
It'll be ready for that tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I think I got my time. Yeah, by tomorrow evening. I thought that was yesterday that I said it was going to be ready. Okay, whatever. I put in the appropriate timetable.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And and that Pemberton? Pemberton is has arrived, etc., etc. And I guess I'll go ahead and ask for a follow-up if there's any information on Laya and their known whereabouts.
Okay.
We'll follow up with ascending.
Okay.
And that's one of my 4th level slots.
After a few minutes, you get ascending. Bruce can be on location for ceremony tomorrow. Please provide teleportation focus. Laya and crew are at the summer courts trying to gain favor for missing points.
Good luck. They suck.
No indication of breaking rule number 2.
Wonderful. We'll have everything in place. Keep an eye on them Constable's very worried. We'll send follow-up.
All right.
And I'll do another report figuring out logistics, find a proper item of focus for teleportation, find I'll probably cut a branch from some plant life, because that would be something that's old and rooted and has been in the place for a long time.
Sounds good.
Put that in a box, send that along, and then probably start trying to prepare the space for a ceremony. Probably using some shapestone and wall of stone to create a platform and start growing together a thing.
Yeah, and actually, Griento's wife actually is out there as well, and is giving some suggestions and helping to kind of design the space.
Yeah. I will. Before getting into any of that, though, informing Jack, Mina, Koku, Ilferi, any that are close and available of what's happening. The general says the ceremony is good to go. Also, Laya seems to be fighting for favor.
Yeah, I highly doubt that's going to work, considering she's broken your laws.
I didn't break the rules yet.
But broke laws, and since you're trying to garner favor of Sarkava, who cares about her people.
Yeah.
And
the general did not make it sound like Oddcog has been compromised.
That is good to know.
And double checking notes. And yeah, the Bruce should be arriving by teleportation. I'm gonna go see what I can do to make sure the space for the ceremony is ready. Do you know Briento's wife's name? Or sorry, Grienzo.
Ajeka. She's a quiet woman, but she knows what she's doing.
Oh, I'm sure she does.
Ejeka, if anyone cares.
Okay. She has, looking back to the little pavilion where the meeting happened, has good taste. And will go and Shapestone could make a box platform, or Wall of Stone could make a box platform. Shapestone can make some stairs. Mm-hmm. Erect some columns for banner hanging.
Yep.
Etc.
Sounds good. She has a few little statuettes, or some little plants and just some little decor. She's got some banners, ribbons, makes it look nice.
Koku uses telekinesis to help out.
Aw.
I can grow cactuses and thorns. That's about all that's really native out here.
For the next day,
cactuses have beautiful flowers, though.
Very nice.
Actually, yeah.
You could druidcraft some of that into place.
The work crews
plant growth.
Start out their fairly normal routine as some of the crowds come around to watch, especially marveling at the automatons. There definitely seem to be more people on the List Railroad side of things because of that. And at about a little bit before noon, as
This is the next day.
yeah.
Oh.
Was there?
Well, I guess I don't need to do a Skyseer vision. That's okay.
I'm just trying to wrap up.
Yeah, I got it.
A little bit before before noon, as Aloysia is staking out the teleportation target, a mage appears at one point, kind of spends a few minutes looking around and gets confirmation from Aloysia, holds a finger up to the ear, says that the landing spot is clear, before the Bruce himself appears.
Immediately, like bow to like one knee, or what that would that be like? That would be like the appropriate response to my king appearing,
yeah.
And all that.
He nods at you, says, "Good work," and like just heads off towards the.
Yeah.
Hi, Bruce.
Yeah, I imagine just like very not a lot of pop or something. Yeah. Good work, kid, and he just walks just move starts moving in no circumstance, just very irreverent.
The two work crews have gotten within about 5 spikes left to drive on each side, before stopping and waiting for things to kind of gather around, settle down. The Bruce arrives and everybody, is all in a tizzy. He goes up on the platform and gives a very eloquent speech about unity and coming together, and it's good to see the companies of this fine country working together. Good shining example. Lots of there's newspapers and photographs being taken.
I cast Skywrite.
What do you write?
How the fuck do you cast Skywrite?
What do you mean?
That's
a wizard spell.
It's a wizard spell?
Yeah, it's a great spell.
So useful. See?
A unified. So in the sky, it says a unified bear for all, a nation for the future.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Best second level spell I've ever cast.
Sure.
Then Liss and Griento take hammers and drive in the spikes leading up to the center. Then the Bruce steps forward with a golden hammer.
A golden warhammer.
Yeah. And drives the final spike in as confetti cannons and flares. Mages are shooting off, fireworks and stuff.
I do Pemberton a solid and make sure that one of the automatons in the shot when the Bruce drives the spike in.
I'm just imagining that there was a preemptive conversation about how the Bruce's hammer had to be bigger than the others, so they had to swap hammers out.
Oh yeah, sure. that was one of the last minute things. Yeah. And then stay for a couple pictures, handshakings, and then he's gone. Was probably not even here an hour.
Yep. Sounds about right.
Sounds about right.
Bye, Bruce.
Did I ever get a confirmation on? Was I ever given or told a confirmation on the court's opinion on how the prize winnings thing should go?
You never heard directly beforehand, but you probably could talk to one of his assistants.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely leaning in because that's important. Because if that doesn't go the way I'm hoping it's gonna go, that's not gonna go well for me.
But they
you
gauge
grab someone
that he
who's
was
also a cog.
Yeah, you gauge that he was receptive of it, and that because of the positive press that seems to be happening, that it'll all come out in the wash anyway.
This happens behind one of the pillars by the concessions table.
Probably,
just like, okay, how's this gonna work? What'd your boss say?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. He overheard from Gary, and blah blah blah. That they loved it. I think it's gonna work out. Yeah, you should be good. Like just like a very fast conversation.
It's gonna take a couple weeks of working out the logistics, but it was probably going to anyway.
I'm sure it'll be fine. We found an entire dragon skeleton. We're gonna be able to shave that down for a mint in spell components, and that's gonna be a great influx.
Speaking of clandestine conversations about money, I find a quiet moment with Liz.
Mm-hmm.
You've done great work.
Pay up, bitch.
Now, for the small matter of the 2,200 gold you owe me.
How much was left at the end of the construction?
Well, since you brought it up, that we are ending the construction with 2 money and 2 morale. So there's 5,000 gold pieces left in the coffers.
Well, it sounds like you're getting paid then.
I love how you were in charge of how much money he had, and then you come to him asking for money.
I'm not going to take his money.
I'm
He has
just
to
saying.
give it to me.
I just love that you know exactly how much money he had from the venture. And
I will inform him how much money he has and how much money he owes me.
I just
Also, even if I can just take it, no, he has to pay me.
Yeah, I want to hear you say it.
Bitch.
And why don't we just round it up to an even 2,500?
You've made a wise investment. Several in the past 2 weeks.
God, I hope so.
We're not concentrating on that all day.
Betting on you probably saved my life.
Well, saving things is more or less the business I found myself in.
Aww.
I think that's the curtain.
Yeah.
Was there anything else? Anyone? Any scenes? Any peoples?
No.
I assassinate Bruce.
He goes off to the teleportation spot and just like a knife, like right as he vanishes.
No. Little did he
Now
know
I've spent all this downtime making a
vendetta
silencer and a vendetta bullet.
And little did he know I had the Staff of the Ancients, and I warded this place against teleportation.
Cool.
Perfect.
Perfect. Now he's bleeding out in a teleportation circle.
Man,
I was really not expecting that.
I even actually have to spend a spell slot because it's a ritual.
Yeah, no, I was
It's
about
so
to bring
good.
that up, but I was waiting. You don't even have to prepare the spell. If I want to do Skywrite, I have to prepare it.
Seems suboptimal.
Fuck you.
All right.
I cast Skywrite. Fuck you too.
All right, in the
How's
10
that
minutes
go?
you're doing that, Elfari's going to write "fuck you" in the sand 30,000 times.
All right.
And then also blow it out with control
Eat
waves.
me. Just spell out "eat me" with the tiles.
And with that, you all level up.
We
Yeah.
built a train.
Woo!
I'll
All
roll
it
my hit
took was
points.
one train built.
Now y'all are my level. Congrats.
You've been level 10 the whole time?
Chris was gonna bring me in later, and it's really complicated to de-level a wizard, man.
Yeah, it is.
So I was gonna bring him in like at this point,
Yeah,
basically.
It
basically.
took us a long time to get to this
But
point.
it took us a lot longer to get here than I thought. I thought this was gonna be like 3 sessions.
idiot.
It
Don't
was-
give us
it was
15
not.
You
chores to do.
underestimated.
I'm gonna roll my hit points. I'm gonna turn my camera down to it.
No,
I'm gonna roll it.
I do not regret
No,
any of it.
But
it did take longer than I expected.
I'm actually more glad that this is how I got brought in because it was awkward as hell.
It's
Um,
it's rotating a bunch. Oh
Yeah.
no. It's a 3.
Anyway, it's late. How about we do the wrap up?
I think that's gonna do it. We're all level 10 now, and
Woo!
we'll
Yay.
see who wins the contest of the Bruce next time
Yay.
on Zeitgeist.
If it's not us, I'm gonna be very surprised.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.